Okay, so the science of power, why we test the way we test and why we train the way we train. Because what we're going to do here from the training point of view and the testing point of view is going to be slightly different to anything you've ever done before, and I need you to believe it and understand it slightly, yeah? And then we build on top of that. So, quick biology lesson. So what I'll do is I'll show you some bits and pieces here. What we're working on is skeletal muscles. You've got different type of muscle types, but imagine just skeletal muscles, let's say for instance the biceps, yeah? So what it does, the brain will send a signal down to the muscle, so there'll be like a cable that goes down to the muscle, and it's not just one, it will branch off, and there's loads and loads and loads of cables that then connect on, say for instance, onto the bicep. Now, you have the ability to fire all of the motor units or just a few, depending on what you're picking up. So if I'm sort of just standing up, I'm not going to use all of the muscle fibers to stand up because it'd be inefficient. Makes no sense to burn that much energy. But if someone's to come running in here with an axe and I'm getting that fight or flight response, then obviously I'm going to turn on more muscle fibers, more motor units to be able to get away, fight, whatever way you look at it. Now, what we want to do is we want to be able to teach you to recruit more muscle units in the muscle if you want to. Yeah? And I'll explain why in a second. Now, this is basically called the size principle. And what it is, the brain it says I don't need to use all of it. So if I'm picking up this fob, as opposed to picking up a 12k dumbbell or something like that, there's a difference in the amount of muscle fibers that I'm going to fire, and the brain will tell us how to do that. So we want to train and be able to turn on more of these motor units, yeah? And there's 3 ways that you can train the brain to be able to turn on more of these muscle units, which will eventually make you stronger, and on top of that, make you more powerful. So 3 ways to do it. One, you can lift heavy. Yeah, so if you're picking up your ball from the putting green as opposed to picking up a person off the floor, you'll understand that lifting heavy, you'll turn on more muscle fibers. Now, the only problem with that is obviously we don't want to injure the golfer. There's more chance of injury when you're doing that, and also we don't want to not be able to perform with the amount of we're sort of breaking down the muscle and doing what we're doing from that. So we will do that, but it's not the main focus. Then second way you can do it faster. So more velocity, more speed, the brain will turn on more motor units. So anything you do as quickly as possible, you're turning on more motor units and you're learning that. And the third way is then intensity. So how intense you are with what you're trying to do. Imagine, if you've ever seen it on a video or in the gym, where someone will, their intention to move the weight will actually turn on more motor fibers. Now, when it comes to training, what we do here is we want you to be able to turn on more motor units, which would make sense. Now, slightly off topic, but same topic. You also use a different fuel source when you're trying to do this. So first up, you'll have your oxygen system. Say you're going for a walk, you're burning oxygen, you're turning that into a power source. Then also as well, there's another way that you can do it, which is the phosphocreatine system, yeah? And so again, someone comes in, a line bursts in here and all that, like it will use that system. It's like nitroglycerin. You use that as a power system, and that will give you that spurt of energy, that sort of, think of it like Mario Kart type stuff when you was a kid. Like it boosts you on, but it only lasts a certain amount of time. So it probably lasts in an adult 10 seconds max, in a trained athlete 20 seconds, in a junior maybe 5 seconds, something like that. So from a training point of view, when it comes to working on power, which is obviously we do strength and speed and power, when it comes to working on power, you want to use this extra fuel source, and you want to be doing lower reps, higher sets. So you'll see some of the stuff we do will be completely different in the way we set it up to normal training. From a golf point of view, if you think about it, if you was on a TrackMan and you're measuring how fast your swing speed is, as soon as that speed drops off, then rather than hitting more and more balls, you want to step back and take a break. because what you've done is you've used up that system that you're trying to use, and now you're in fatigue. And if you say, well, you can't do it on a golf course, yes you can, because you're using a powerful swing, and then you're walking, you're switching between energy systems. So there's also another way we can get, so this is why you get stronger. So the way most people will get stronger if they first start training is neural adaptation. So it's when these motor units become, you turn more on or you become more efficient. And you do that before you do the second type of way that you get stronger, which is hypertrophy, which is actually making the muscle bigger. So first of all, understand this, that let's review it from top to bottom. You've got two systems that you use. When you're doing something explosive, you're using a different system to a normal system that most people think they're using, like the oxygen system. You're not using that, you're using the phosphocreatine system. There's 3 ways that you can turn on more motor units, which will make you more powerful in the golf swing and in anything that's explosive. Lifting heavy, doing it as fast as possible, as in velocity, and then the intention. Yeah? So get that information in and then go to the next video.